Hello everyone, TMG here. I just got back from the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and I'm gonna just warn you right now, this video is absolutely gonna have spoilers, because how can I just not talk about the movie without spoiling it? So, that's your warning, but I don't think any of the things I'm gonna discuss are gonna really ruin any huge surprises in the movie. There's not really any huge surprises, those have already been spoiled by Nintendo themselves in the advertisements. But let's get into it. I like this movie a lot more than the first. Now, I didn't like the first one that much. It was okay. I only ever watched it once in theaters, and I never went back and watched it again because I just kind of felt mad. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't like it. It was just kind of like, as a Mario fan watching the first movie, I did get it. It was cool to see references and things on screen, but ultimately, to me, that can never replace the games. I'm someone who's I'm a Mario fan for the games, not really any other media. But this movie was, despite the criticism it gets from the critics, I think it was a lot better. Let me apologize real quick. I'm not going to show any footage I'll show minimal footage of the trailer in this video, just because a lot of YouTubers have been having their videos taken down just for showing clips of the advertisements or trailers. So, I'm going to play things relatively safe. I think I'm going to put some footage of Super Mario Advance 4, Mario 3, and maybe some footage of Mario 2 or the other games whenever it's relevant. Now, I don't know, I feel like a lot of the criticisms that have been thrown at this movie don't stand. Especially, I don't know, I went into this movie having really low expectations from the criticisms, but I think because of that, all of my expectations were blown away because they were already driven 5 feet underground. But that's not a bad thing. I think it's always better to go into a movie expecting less from it than expecting more from it, because if you expect more from it, it's not really gonna wow you. Now, I will say this movie absolutely looked amazing. Like, the colors and the animators just did such a brilliant job. Now, the plot itself, not too crazy, but I don't know. I've heard the criticism that it's less complex than the first movie, and I haven't watched the first movie in a few years, so forgive me if I'm wrong, but I really don't think that's the case. It really feels more on par with the first in terms of plot. Like, I don't think any of these movies were crazy in terms of plot before. But I think there is enough substance here to keep it interesting. Like, there's a lot of moments between maybe Bowser and Mario. Bowser's trying to kind of figure out who he is. Who he wants to be. And there's a lot of interesting moments of him talking with Mario. It's interesting how he's kind of friends with Luigi. And then, like, Bowser's relationship with Bowser Jr. There's a lot of heartfelt moments with that, too. And this movie has received some criticism because it's showing a softer side of Bowser. But also let me remind you of what happens when you beat Super Mario Sunshine. In the end of Mario Sunshine, there is a little heartfelt moment between Bowser and Bowser Jr., and, you see a softer side of Bowser that you never saw in the games before Mario Sunshine. So I really didn't feel like this was crazy out of character for Bowser. And I actually think it's to the benefit of the movie, because if he was just the same character as the last movie, that wouldn't be interesting. It wouldn't show development. And while ultimately in this movie he does go back to being evil, you can still sense a bit of hesitation in him. Like, even though he's committed back to being evil with being the bad guy with Bowser Jr., you still sense hesitation in almost everything he does. I mean, even after the movie's over, I'm still not convinced he's committed to the side of being bad. Which I don't know, I think that made the movie a lot better. People criticize it for that, but it made the movie much more interesting than I think it would have been otherwise. Yoshi, I actually really liked. I think Yoshi might have been the best character in some ways. In other ways, I think Bowser Jr. was the best character. I don't know the names of most of the voice actors. I'm not really big on the people make fun of me a lot because I don't really know the names and things of famous actors, because I play video games. I watch movies every now and then. The only film series you're going to see me watch on a common basis is The Three Stooges, and that's it. The rest of my time is spent tinkering with electronics, playing games, programming projects, or doing schoolwork, because that's important too. Do your homework, kids, come on. But, I don't know. When I first saw the trailers, I was like, I don't know if Bowser Jr.'s voice fits, but as soon as I saw him in the movie, the voice actor actually did a really good job with Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. ended up probably being my favorite character of the film in a lot of ways. And he's great in a way because it's almost like a reflection of Bowser of his past self. I talked about Bowser's hesitation between being good or being bad, and it's like he's looking at Bowser Jr. and he sees himself, and he doesn't know whether he should become more like Bowser Jr. or if he should guide Bowser Jr. to be more like the Mario Brothers. And I think that the relationship between Bowser and Bowser Jr. really worked quite well. Yeah, I mean, Bowser actually takes quite a bit of a backseat. Bowser Jr. is really the big villain of this movie. Now, in some ways, let's see. Oh yeah, on Yoshi. I think it's funny they kept with the trope of the games where Yoshi can't say anything but Yoshi! You know what I mean? Sorry if you don't like the impression, that's just what I got. But I don't know, I like that because it's funny whenever he's talking to anyone, you can tell he's genuinely trying to communicate something, but all he says is Yoshi! You know what I mean? And I don't know. Like, he just kind of comes out of nowhere, but he fits in. I've also heard the criticism, this isn't enough of a Mario Galaxy movie. And it definitely pulls elements from a lot of games, but I never felt that when I was watching. It definitely feels most like Galaxy to me. We'll sidetrack for a moment. I've never been the biggest fan of the Mario Galaxy games, Hate me if you want to. I don't dislike them, but they're not my favorite in the series. I've gotten a kick out of them. I do have nostalgia for the first Mario Galaxy. I did play it when I was younger, but it's not that it's a bad game, it's a very slow-paced game compared to other Mario games, and that's just not my sort of style. I know a lot of people love it, and I understand. I've played enough of the Galaxy games to see there definitely is some brilliance in the level design, but it's just not my cup of tea. But yeah, I'm still nostalgic for it, even if it's not my favorite 3D Mario games, So, whenever I don't know, I think people's issue with the movie is that there's not enough galaxies from the game. But I think they need to zoom out a little and see, this movie's not trying to be the game, it's trying to capture the heart of the game, while ultimately providing a new experience. Because, if we're going to theaters to just watch the plot of a game we've already played unfold, that's going to be kind of predictable and boring. And I also think from a movie making standpoint, just making the game a movie and not pulling elements from any other game is I don't know, very limiting. But I don't know. It definitely felt like enough of a Mario Galaxy movie to me. I think the name fits. Like, the Mario Odyssey movie? No, there's not enough Odyssey in there. The Super Mario Bros. 2 movie, there's a bit of Super Mario Bros. 2, but still not enough. And we'll get to that in a little. The Super Mario World movie, it does have Yoshi, but I think I only heard a song from Super Mario World 1 or 2 times in the movie, and never any places or never any locations for Super Mario World, or it didn't feel like this game or reference. I mean, this game. I'm so used to reviewing games, I call it a game. I don't feel like this movie referenced Super Mario World that much. Now, those of you who know me, I grew up playing games like Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario 3D World, the new Super Mario Bros. Games. But ultimately, my favorite Mario games are actually the classic 8-bit, 16-bit Mario games, Mario 1, 2, 3, Yoshi's Island. I like Mario World too, but I don't like it as much as those games. Mario World is like, to me, it's like Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3, and Yoshi's Island are like S tier, and Mario World's like A tier to me. But Mario World is still fantastic. And still one of my favorites in the series, so I love seeing references from that one too, but because of that, the part of the movie I liked the most was the part with King Wart in it. Super Mario Bros. 2 is one of the most imaginative, creative, original Mario games there is. It's, up there with Super Mario Bros. 3, Yoshi's Island. So it just makes me very happy to see them pulling games from, pulling ideas from those games, because I don't know, I think it really makes this movie feel fresh in a way that the last game couldn't. Game. I did it again. The last movie couldn't. And I do have to say, I think King Wart should have played a bigger part, because his portrayal in this movie is actually awesome. I wasn't sure going in, because King Wart in this movie is definitely a different character than he is in the game. In the game, he's the ruler of Super Mario Bros. 2. He takes over Subcon. He captures the Subcon fairies. He apparently, I think, if you read the manual, doesn't he give Toad nightmares of Cobrats? Is it Cobrats? I'll have to read the manual again. The King Wart is he's a fundamentally different villain from Bowser, where Bowser seeks power, and King Wart seeks power as well, but King Wart is probably the only villain in the Mario series who's genuinely evil. Like, he enjoys giving Mushroom Kingdomites nightmares and things like that, and, because he lives in the dream world. Now, people, I don't know, there's big debates online, but if you ask me, Super Mario Bros. 2 did happen. It's not just a dream. In the manual, it says, I forget. I need to find my manual somewhere. But if you know the lore of Super Mario Bros. 2, I think it says in the manual that you have to beat Wart so you can wake up and escape Subcon or something like that. Like, it's definitely acknowledging, I think, that this is more, Mario 2 is more than a dream. Like, I definitely think Subcon could come back. It could come back if Nintendo wants to make an actually original Mario game one day. Please, Nintendo, please! Yeah, but like, I don't know. His portrayal in the movie was very different. He's in charge of, like, a crime organization, and he lived in a casino. Kind of weird. He definitely feels like a very different character than in the games, but he definitely still has a bit of that. They did capture a bit of his character in the sense he definitely feels like he is evil. Like, as soon as he's on screen, you feel his presence. Like, I don't know, if you got into the final bosses, the first time I got to the final boss, King Wart in Super Mario Bros. 2, it's just one of those games where it just strikes you as incredibly memorable, or a villain that just strikes himself immediately in your heart, right? I think Bowser is also like that in Super Mario Bros. 3. If you know what I'm talking about, that feeling you get, like, at the end, your heart's beating. It just, there's very few final bosses that actually end up feeling incredibly memorable, or, like, villains that actually end up striking fear into your heart as a player. And King Wart was one of those when I fought him for the first time. And I could actually feel that a bit when I saw him on screen, and I really liked that. Because I don't think they captured that in Bowser's character, which is probably more accurate to his character in a way, because he's not as evil as King Wart. He's more power hungry, in the games at least. Bowser's a little more evil in the movie, I think, but I think it, plot-wise, my only critique might be that Bowser just jumping back from the side of good with Mario and Luigi to the side of evil was, I don't know, it kind of feels weird to have a character develop just to revert back to how they were. And as I said earlier in the movie, you can still sense a bit of hesitation in Bowser even after he converts back, but it's still a little odd. And I think what would have been a better plot would be if King Wart played a bigger role in the movie. If he was the big bad, and Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Princess Toad, and Bowser Jr. all had to team up despite their differences to bring him down. And I think that would have been a much more interesting, because you'd have to explore the dynamic of Mario and Bowser working together to ultimately defeat something bigger than both of them. I think that would have been a more interesting plot. Now, the plot was still interesting enough to keep me interested. Yeah, but ultimately, yeah, it's really nice to see King Wart after his 30-year break. I know Bowser's the more well-known villain, but King Wart is actually my favorite villain in the series, because even though he only makes one appearance, I think he is a much more interesting villain. And maybe it's because we don't know a lot about his intentions in the game, or why he is just evil, I think he just is the more threatening villain in my eyes. I don't know. It was nice to see Mauser, Clawgrip, and Birdo as well. Though I would have liked to hear, if you play the Game Boy Advance version of Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Advance, it would have been cool to hear those characters speak like they kind of do in that game. But yeah, honestly, go watch this movie, ignore the critics, since when... Here, let me give you a little advice about life. Critics tend to be kind of ruin everything. Sorry, critics, if you're watching this. Whether they're reviewing games or movies, I don't know. Even a lot of video game critics who seem to know what they're talking about, I feel like they often... I don't know if they're just chasing the popular opinion or something, but I often find myself disagreeing with them. So you know what? Just go watch the movie and give it an honest shot. And maybe try watching a few more reviews from actual fans of the game. I don't know. 'Cause I don't know what it is about the critic crowd, but I honestly don't think a lot of their criticisms held up. There was one that the movie was insanely fast-paced. I did not feel like that at all. The ending did not feel like it came out of nowhere. I feel like there was the necessary build-up to that ending. I was expecting it to end at a certain point, and it ended right there. But then again, everyone experiences movies differently. Everyone perceives movies differently. So this is my experience. If you're a Mario fan like me, I'm pretty sure you'll get a kick out of it. In terms of references, I heard a lot of people saying there was a lot more references in this movie. I'm not actually sure about that. In some ways there was. I don't know. It's just... I never feel like the movie was... Oh, look at that! It's this from that game! That was not what was keeping me in the movie. While there was that every once in a while, I don't know. That was not what was... It was the actual unfolding of events that kept me interested. And that's why I'm kind of defending the plot here, because it wasn't crazy complex, but it was interesting enough. And that's the key here. Enough. This doesn't need to be some crazy plot. Yeah. And, sorry to spoil. No Wario or Waluigi in the credits like everyone wanted. I do think... This is just another tangent here. They did miss the opportunity to bring Tatanga back as well. He's a literal alien, and you have a movie that takes place in space. And while I don't know. I don't think of Tatanga as a villain as much of Wart or Bowser in the series. I don't know. He still is a villain in a Super Mario Land. And then Wario's a villain of Super Mario Land 2. Where are we going to see those guys come in? Now, if this movie has a sequel, which I bet it will, because I've already heard it's made more money than the first movie, I do not want to just see Bowser or Bowser Jr. be the villains again. Because, well, Bowser was the villain in the first movie. In this movie, Bowser Jr. and Bowser were the villain. It would just feel very repetitive. Like the new Super Mario Bros. Games, if you want me to be brutally honest right now. Though I like the new Super Mario Bros. Games. I actually kind of like them more than Mario Wonder. Please don't kill me for saying that. But it's true. Well, at least I like New Super Mario Bros. Wii and New Super Mario Bros. U more than Wonder. I don't like DS and 2 more than Wonder. I'll put it that way. But yeah, I really think King Wart, the last we saw him in the movie, he was, I don't know, we kind of just saw him, and then, he just wasn't in the movie from that point on. He was in it for a good 10 minutes or so. And that fight scene was crazy, man. I love how King Wart just sat there the entire time while they fight. And then when he sees that Princess Peach and Toad have beaten up all the baddies, he, stands up. He's like, now it's getting real. And then Princess Peach just throws a turnip in his mouth. Great reference to how you beat him in the game. They missed the opportunity to have King Wart say something like, oh, I don't like vegetables. Not the, because in the manual for Super Mario Bros. 2, there's a note that says King Wart hates vegetables. That's just a minor thing for me. I don't know why I would have wanted him to say that so badly, but, oh, I hate vegetables. Maybe it's because they don't want to encourage children. But yeah, I hope in the next movie King Wart plays a bigger role as a villain. Maybe they could even take my idea of making him the major villain and having Bowser Jr. and Bowser team up with the Mario and friends. Or maybe they could bring back Tatanga or Wario. There's a lot of places they could go. Now, what's the next game they're going to base it off? Well, if Wart's the villain, I'm hoping it's Super Mario Bros. 2. It would be awesome to see Subcon realized on the big screen, don't you think? Super Mario Bros. 3 would be awesome as well, seeing the rest of the Mushroom World. Well, let me remind you, all my favorite Mario games are the classic Mario games, so... Mario Sunshine would be awesome as well. Delfino Plaza. And, Bowser Jr. already has the paintbrush and stuff, but... I don't know. There was a lot of cool paintbrush effects and things already in this movie. I don't want the sequel... If they did do a Mario Sunshine movie, I'd hope they do a little surprise where Bowser Jr. and Bowser still aren't the villains. Maybe Wario's doing some huge operation in Delfino Plaza. Who knows? Is Wario going to be Mario's cousin in this, or is he just going to be some random guy in the mushroom? Who knows? Will he be like a villain, or will Nintendo make him the make him just the relative of Tags of Water? I don't know. But I think this video has gone long enough, and I've gone on long enough for the tangent. Wow, it's been 40 minutes since I've just got out of the movie. But yeah, give it a chance. Since when did we care about what critics say? Just give it a chance, and if you don't like it, then you don't like it. What do you get to lose? Yeah, this movie did not feel like a massive advertisement, but I can definitely see little nods of things. Like there's apparently a Star Fox game that's going to come out this year or something. So yeah, Star Fox, and then the Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 bundle just came out on Switch 6 months ago. And then Rosalina's in Mario Wonder now. It all kind of makes sense in that way, but it didn't feel like it was going out of its way to be like, hey, this is exactly like a game that was just, go buy it, please. But yeah, this video is getting too long, so I'll cut it here. Maybe I'll make a second video if I need more clarifying points or something, but that's it for now. So yeah, TMG of the out. Good of the bye.